link, will you send it to someone on your team that you know wants to join? Okay, it's noon. Y'all, welcome back. Man, it makes me so excited. There's a bunch of you guys on this call that we have missed seeing. I'm Becky Page. Andrea Mitchell is going to be on this call as well. Listen, we paused Masterclass at the end of May, kind of when school was winding down, summer was kicking into full effect. And Andrea and I were both at the time reading a book that some of you guys read with us called, I've got it right here, called 10X is Easier Than 2X. And I want to tell you something, and I hope I can kind of build the vision for why we also want to focus on gold so much this far. But when Andrea and I were reading this book and processing it with some other leaders, one of the things we realized that had been happening with the greater team is that we were doing a lot of leading and a lot of training. And it was sort of like we were doing a lot of time and work, and we weren't really developing new leaders. And I think that's a rut that probably a lot of you guys who've ever gone gold and beyond, you might have found yourself in this place where you're doing a lot of work, and maybe you're even in recruitment mode. But as far as development goes, that has gone down in your business. And so what happens then is you get into a place where you can easily work into burnout. And as Andrea and I talked about 10Xing our businesses, one of the things we realized was we needed to break from training and leading, at least in this fashion, focus again, hone back in on our personal business, and also allow some of you guys to lift your leadership lid. And what I mean by that is letting some of you guys step into leadership in your teams. So if you've struggled with developing leaders, whatever that looks like, if it's been a while, in fact, I want to know if you can think, and you're brave enough to share in the chat, how long has it been since you developed a silver? Let's just start there, just so I can kind of read the room. By the way, there's no shame in this call. We have to get really clear with where we've been going in order to figure out how we're going to get to the next stop. So tell me what's going on in your own business. How long has it been since you developed a new silver? Some of you guys is going to be like, hey, I did that last week, and that's awesome. And some of you guys are going to be like, it's been years. Okay, we're going to run the whole spectrum here. While you guys are sharing, and thank you for being honest, because I want you to know that, man, these trainings, there's no shame. We want you to be vulnerable. And at the same time, we want you to take a really honest, rigorously honest look at your business so that you can grow. But I'm going to go ahead and explain. Let's go to the next slide. I'm going to explain. First of all, I want to slow us down and go to here's what's happening right now. And then I'm going to get into casting the vision for why we're going to focus on gold. Okay. Julia Carty, I think, is on this call, and she does not know, but I'm going to brag on her team for just a minute. Julia's team, when we took a look at who is developing silvers and golds regularly, it's Julia Carty's team. And I can say that I'm very proud to be her friend. We're not on each other's teams. We are sidelines. And there are some things that her team has been doing for a year now. And I just want to tell you, it works. So let me talk about it. First of all, we've got a challenge running in the table and in some of the other team pages this month called Bahamas Bound. Okay. This month has kicked off the Rising Leaders Retreat Cruise Contest. If you're like, I don't even know what they're talking about, that's okay. Don't worry. It's an awesome cruise. It's going to happen in February of 2025. And you can earn credits towards this cruise for the next 4 months. Okay. Right? September, October, November. Yes. But this month we get double credits for everyone that you recruit. Okay. So this series that we're doing on the table, if you just search for Bahamas Bound, you're going to see that we're doing a post every day. And every day we are giving you some training on ways to recruit, develop, retain your customers, and also how to work social media. So you just need to go to the table or go to your team page if they're involved and check it daily and get trained there on your own. I promise you're going to give it 5 minutes and you're going to get great training done. The second, and this is tried and true again, this is from Julia Cartier's team. They started doing something about a year ago called rally chats. Julia, it might be longer than a year. Like, forgive me where I get this wrong. And I remember she'd say, well, we have rally chats. And I was always like, I don't know what that is. And then when Andrew and I finally realized, oh, this is what it is. It is a no response chat. Okay. So it's a Facebook chat that you are a part of. You check it every day, but you're not getting notifications. You know what I mean? Like some other chats where you're trying to keep up and you're like, what did I miss for the day? This is a chat that you check every morning because it gets updated every morning. And it's going to focus and give you something to post on social media, something to share with others, something to say, like if you're talking to your leaders or your customers, and something to learn. So you check it once a day. If you've got 30 minutes to work your business, you're going to go to Rally Chats. It's going to help you post because that's going to be the thing that's holding so many of you guys back and keeping you from being consistent. You're like, I don't even know what to post about. Well, this is the no excuses. Hop in there. There's graphics. They tell you if you're someone who's like, I don't know how to share it all. It's a great place to literally copy paste. Now, if you're someone who's like, I kind of want to have more autonomy in my social media, great. Then you're going to go in, you're going to get inspired, and then you can create your own posts from there. But this is an easy way to work your business without getting lost in all the chaos of social media. Tell me in the chat, does anyone get on social media and go, I'm going to get on to kind of get inspired for what I should post? And just tell me, does it ever work? Do you ever come away and go, now my brain feels so much more on fire and I know what to say? No, you are stuck for an hour and you're not posting because you're frozen going, now I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what to say. Yeah. Thank you, Ashley Young. Your brain just, took some crack and it's overwhelmed and you're overstimulated. Don't do that. Get into rally chats. Hey, by the way, if you have a new VIP who wants to work the business, tell them about rally chats and you can add them in there, but make sure that they know it's going to be like, to them, it might feel like a lot right at first. That's okay. If you've got a go-getter, she needs to be in rally chat. But sometimes, let that person kind of get their feet under them before you throw them in the rally chat. Okay. And third, do you see how this is just 1, 2, 3 areas of focus? Third is that every Thursday and Sunday nights is what? If you've been around for a while, if you've been working your business all summer, Thursday night is 2 things. It's a real people, real stories call. It's just health testimonials. It's like a 15-minute call. If you need the link, just search real people, real stories in the team page, and you're going to get the link. It's every Thursday night. You want to share this not only with your VIPs, but with potentials. You've got someone with POS. It doesn't matter what they're talking about on Real People, Real Stories. They should hear it. Okay. That's every Thursday night. Also every Thursday night. And this is especially for those of you going, I need to grow my business. We are doing customer messenger events. That means that there's a messenger group every Thursday night. Every Thursday night, there's going to be a 30-minute chat there where it's going to help people learn about the products, learn about how to get the cost of their products covered, and it's going to help initiate them into the business. If you've got someone who you're thinking, gosh, she could go silver, but how do we do that? Well, then you help her add people to that messenger chat, okay? 2 things on Thursday night. Every Sunday night, we have a business opportunity call. How to make $300 with the business this week. They will do a 15 to 20 minute, this is a Zoom call where your people can listen in. They don't have to have their camera turned on. They're going to hear 3 testimonies of 3 business builders, typically at the jewel level. And then they're going to say, hey, text this number if you want to learn how to make $300 this week. Okay. So it's a great launching pad for someone who wants to go silver. Okay. So that seems like a lot, but that's pretty much the basics. We're back to Masterclass, and Andrea and I spoke this summer and we said, you know what? I think we want to really spend this whole fall focusing on gold. Now, if you're a Ruby and you're like, why would I want to tune in to learning how to go gold? I've already done that. Well, friends, it's because what we really see growing people's businesses when we take a good look at folks whose business is thriving. I mean that like they're not only hitting their ranks, they're holding their ranks and they're moving on towards the next one. It's people who are developing golds, okay? And there's a reason for that. Genevieve spoke back when I was doing jewel training, I remember she gave us a stat and she said that people who go gold are more likely to stick around. It's something for like 3 years, even if they don't hold that rank. It's because at some point they saw close to that $1,000 a month income. And boy, that builds people's belief in this opportunity. Okay. So for you to be able to develop a goal, but not just one, we want to spend this fall training you how to develop yourself 4 goals wide. That's just the basic. That's just the foundation. Okay. You don't build 4 goals and then quit. But that gets you into momentum when you've got 4 different legs running for gold and then going beyond. So it really is development. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right. I'm kind of telling you why this is our focus. Today, we also want to talk to you about like how this growth is going to look for your business and how you can identify the people who can do it, what it means to go gold and what it's going to do for your income, who you've got to focus on, how 4 goals wide could really impact your business, and where that's going to take you this year. But I want to tell you this, okay? Can you kind of give me in the comments, let me know where you are. Have you ever gone gold? So if you're have yet to hit gold, you can say not gold yet. Okay. And that'll let me know, like, who are we talking to who your first, okay, good. Thank you, Jessica. Your first goal is just to get to gold yourself. And then let me know if you've gone gold, say, I've gone gold and need to build a gold. And then some of you have developed at least 1 gold, but you need to do it again. And at that point, just say, do it again. Okay, good. This is great. Thanks, you guys. I'm reading the comments. It's kind of, yeah, it's coming in all these different places. So Andrew and I were like, well, who do we focus on this call? Like, we've got folks who are new and wanting to grow. We've got folks who have gone gold, but maybe never developed a gold. And then we've got folks who've gone past gold, far beyond, and maybe have developed, but need to do it again and probably need to do it again 4 levels wide, right? We're speaking to all kinds of people. And here's what I want to tell you. If you've never gone gold, then you're in the right place. And you need to know it's not that hard. It's really not. If you can conceptualize it, you can do it. So we really want to help build the vision for you. Some of you guys, I really want you to think for just a moment and remember how you went gold. And I'm going to tell you my gold story, and then I'm going to have Andrea tell you hers. But when I first started the business, I didn't think I wanted the business. I asked Andrea to please not ever, ever, ever tag me because I owned a counseling practice. And I was like, Andrea, that is my brand. I don't want my customers and clients getting confused on thinking I'm selling these energy drinks. So I went gold though, because I am competitive enough to where I did talk to enough friends offline and convince them that they needed to try the products with me. And I knew that I could get that $100 bonus. My husband had said, like, we don't really have this in the budget for you to spend, $130 every month. So you need to try to get this covered. And so before I ever even hit join, I had already started talking to a few people. One of them was my mom. The second person I talked to was a friend in my community group who we had been kind of like making fun of Plexus, but it was because we were both really curious about it. And as soon as I said, I'm going to do this, she was like, okay, then I'm going to do it too. So I had sort of primed the pump. And then the third person was my first star, my first jewel. Her name was Rachel Neagle. And she had already been curious. She had even taken Plexus from someone else like once, but had never joined. And so what happened was I went silver really quickly. And then the way that I went gold without even realizing what gold was first of all, by helping at least 3 people. And it was actually, I looked back and it was actually 4 people go silver and beyond. So that means they recruited 3 people, but really ended up like they each recruited right around 5+ people. And at that time, it was just because I wasn't, but my friends posted a photo of like my friend Lindsay Carricker, she posted a photo of her order and was like, I'm trying something new. Anybody want to jump in for accountability? And she got so many responses. And so she was pretty quickly, going silver and beyond as well. So I remember when I went gold, again, not even realizing what the numbers look like. I just knew it was because I had enough friends. I was talking to 5 of my friends, including my mom, every day about how good we felt, how we were sharing with other people. And we'd say like, oh, did you know so-and-so is interested too? And that built up 100 points in my organization. And I remember hitting gold the night that I had gone to my very first Plexus meeting, which is where I met Roz. It's where I met people. Like I don't think I'd ever been around Ellen Ford before, but it was a meeting where a lot of people at that meeting ended up going Jewel within their first year because it was that inspiring. So that's my gold story. Andrea, what's yours?
I'm going to switch it over to you. So if you're newer, you can kind of see the ranks and you can see what we're talking about when she talks about 100 points and and you're talking about like, okay, when you go to gold, what does that look like? And then when you go beyond that? And y'all, I had to have this printed out because I could not remember the order of anything. I could not remember like what jewel even meant. So this is a really good chart just for everybody to have, and it's in your back office. But mine was I started, and immediately, like within the first week or so, people were like, I started posting and people were like, what is that? Tell me more. And something we have now in our compensation plan that we did not have, it was just a promotion. My very first month was that everyone who went silver, their sponsor got a bonus. So I was hoping to get as many people bonused on my team as possible. And Pam, I'm kind of looking at you because I know you have a whole that you're starting this month. You got a whole lot of things going on. And if you could get everybody on your team silver, like the explosion is massive. And so for me, if you can get anybody on your team fast started silver, then their sponsor is getting a $50 bonus. And I wanted as many people as possible to get that $50 bonus. So my sister joined me. We got her to silver with like her husband, my mom, and like her across the street neighbor. And then we wanted all 3 of those people to go silver so that Sarah could get the bonus for each one of those people going silver. And we did that again. My friend Vivian from school, she was a mom from chapel. I was literally sitting with my water bottle full of pink drink in chapel. And she was like, what's that? I told her and she said, I went in. I said, great, let's get you signed up. But then let's get 3 people signed up. And all 3 of those people, let's help them go silver so that you're getting a bonus each time they're catching the vision too. And we didn't wait for people to have massive results. We didn't wait for people to have huge testimonials. I'm talking, y'all, in my first 30 days, we had 17 to 18 people on the team that were all customers helping other customers get started because of exactly what Becky said. Hey, I'm starting this. Does anyone want to come do it with me? I'm doing, a detox for the first time is what we can talk about now. We didn't have really detox products back then. There's so much that we can talk about that if you can help people speak about it as they're getting excited, as they're ordering, as their order comes in. My sister went silver before she ever tasted the pink drink. She actually had never tasted it because she lived in Houston. We weren't living near each other. And she actually, had her husband, my mom, and her across the street neighbor all ordering it before she'd ever even gotten her order in. And that is where the massive growth actually happens, is because you have people excited, excitement builds belief. And so that was my gold story is I went gold truly with getting every single person in my back office to silver. Like that was where it was just like popcorns of silvers happen. And I'll say this, in that first month or two after Becky joined, and then she talked about the girls that joined, like I think it was Becky that got silver stars for having the most number of silvers in the company in her on her team, and it's the exact same thing. So the silvers were just, I mean, all we did was develop silver after silver massively get across our entire. We assumed everybody coming in would want to make enough money to at least get their mom, their husband, and their across the street neighbor on the products. And when we made that assumption, when we went in with that assumption with everybody, then the people that wanted it did it. And the people that didn't, some of them are still 10, 11 years later, still customers. And it has just gone really, really well. And that's the best way I think to go gold early on. Okay, back.
Thank you, sister. By the way, if you're looking for where to find this compensation plan graphic, I've got the explanation there. You just open your Go app, library, comp plan summary. Okay, let's look at the next slide. Here's a different look to break it down. So gold is 100 points total. Now, some of you guys are so new that the idea of like outside leg and primary leg, I wouldn't worry about that. The main thing is that you've got to start with 3 level ones. The whole compensation plan is built on you having at least 3 level ones. And that's a healthy compensation plan because that means that nobody can, just ride on one leg all the way to diamond. You've got to have at least 3 to get started. Okay. And then you've got to keep developing. That's called your outside leg. So if you recruit someone who's like incredible and boom, they're blowing up, like the comp doesn't allow you to, ride that joyride without doing some recruiting of your own. So there's 2 different examples here. And listen, for some of you guys who've gone gold, tell me in the comments, because I think there's a lot of you guys that went gold kind of on your own. You recruited like 20 different customers, which is incredible. Okay, you're a recruiting monster. Congrats, it's amazing. Listen, it's so fun. Look at Tina Marie. Of course, Tina Marie recruited all her level ones because she's a total rock star. Okay, but for those of you who did that, do you remember when people kind of with the second month go, well, I've got too much pink drink because I went on vacation. I didn't take it with me, which you just want to kill people and strangle them and be like, why aren't you taking your products on vacation? But remember that feeling when people start to drop off and you start to get the sweaty upper lip, like, oh no, how am I going to keep this up? So I want you to look at example 2, because as Andrea was talking about, this is an example of, let's say you recruit 5 level ones and you help each of them earn a paycheck by going that fast start silver rank. Okay. So they each find 3 customers of their own. That way you've got 15 level 2s, which is 75 points for you right there. You only had to make up that other 30 points, 25 points. So what I want to help explain to you guys is that if you can just begin to normalize, when you sign up a VIP, you help them cover the cost of their products. You help them immediately start to share their link. Now, you and I both know there's people that are going to tell you straight up, I do not want to work this business. And that is totally okay, because like Andrea said, both she and I have a decade of customers. All they've ever done, because our product line is this incredible, is purchase the products for their family, and that's it. They've never shared a referral link. They don't want to know how. That's fine. I'm grateful for those people. But I want to encourage you guys, and we're going to talk about this when we talk about vision. I want to encourage you to start, don't be so afraid to ask people questions. Okay. Some people are going to absolutely say no because they've done some sort of network marketing or multi-level marketing in the past, and it's burned them. And they are afraid that what this means is now they've got to go beg and scrape their family members to take their products. And nobody wants to do that. And that's not what we're offering. That is not what we're offering. We are offering, okay, but like, what if your sister, who is constantly on the phone with you about her 13-year-old son with severe ADHD, what if she could give him these products and have an incredible health testimony for him in 6 months? What if your college roommate who's been dealing with PCOS for 15 years and been on metformin and is taking, having all kinds of issue, whether with weight or just low energy or whatever, what if she could be transformed and have her own testimony? You have to really help build the vision for people. Okay. And by the way, I'm seeing people who are like, I said, never, ever. That was me. I told Andrea, never, ever. And look at how God just laughed at that. He had a good old laugh for himself. Okay. We've got the plexus points here. If you're new, again, I just want to encourage you, don't get overwhelmed by numbers if you're not a numbers person. You have time to go look at this. A simple way to think of it is going gold means having 20 people, whether they're direct to you or in your level 2 or 3, 20 people are in your organization. They can all be VIPs. It can be an assortment of VIPs, customers, or people who have upgraded to brand ambassador because they've shared their link, but you're going to have around at least 20 people in your organization. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, Andrea, I'm going to get you to help me with this, but the first thing I want you to know is you've got to know how the income works for you. And we're going to try to keep this simple because I don't want to spend a ton of time on this page because I want to get into the how to. But Andrea, talk a little bit about bonuses, profit sharing, and bonuses for new customers.
Yeah. One thing I want to encourage you is that if you want to know how to make money, we have videos that are shorter for that specific thing. So I would message your sponsor right now and just text them or Facebook message them and say, help me find out how to make money, how to double my income. And that's going to be the fast start bonuses where you are currently going through those ranks we showed you earlier, silver, silver, gold within your first 30, 60, 90 days, and you're getting bonus, but also as you're helping people do that, you're getting bonus as well. So if you've already passed some of those numbers, I mean, I've been in here, almost 11 years. I can still get fast start bonuses when I help level ones fast start. So that's not lost on you. Profit sharing points, every single one of us in here that has at least one customer gets profit sharing points. That's the entire company's profit divided by all of us that are working, and they give us money every single month. And I'll tell you, for Becky and I'd be interested to know if profit sharing points are the biggest part of your check every month. Will you just put in profit in the chat so we can see, like, profit sharing points are the biggest? I mean, 99.9% of my paycheck every month is profit sharing points. So that's a huge, as you grow up through the ranks, that's where it just starts like multiplying. That's where the residual is. A bonus for new customers. We can tell you those are doubled right now. If you're brand new, Pam, I know you're brand new this month. You're getting double business building bonuses every Friday for every single person you are adding in. That's huge. And then incentives, as you know, right now we have the Skylight calendar, but I'd say an even bigger incentive right now is that we're all running for a cruise. So those are really big. And so knowing how you get paid is really big. Then identifying your first four, like we talked about, who are you going to do this with? Who do you do life with? Who needs the business? Who would be great at sharing something they love and enjoy? We all know the person that we're like, she just shared her Starbucks drink. That girl needs to be making, or the new, Target fall stuff's coming out. She's sharing that all over social media. She needs to be sharing this and making money. Who's on your pinned and saved contacts? Who do you talk to all the time? Who's the first person you send a funny meme to? And then once you're set to get paid on your first four, so once you have your first four, kind of like I said, Sarah did, she did, husband, mom, across the street neighbor, friend from high school, those were her first four. As soon as you're getting paid on your first four, then you're going heavy into posting. That's where Rally Chat's really going to help you with how to share authentically, how to help get you and your new people doing their first post. Goal is getting into as many conversations as possible. I promise you, Pam, and I'm going to keep messaging her because she is fast starting through silver, senior silver, and about to be gold. That person, Pam, I bet is in a lot of conversations right now. I bet she's in more conversations than all of us on this call, because she's fast starting. She's going through as many, people as possible. And then showing your first four people, those people we talked about, this graphic, and doing the exact same thing with them. How are they going to get paid? Their first four, and then helping them move their first four through the ranks. Wash, rinse, repeat, day in, day out, week in, week out. Okay, so just because I love the numbers make me happy. I am not scared of numbers at all. This is a little bit of what it means for your income. Profit sharing, just based on where our profit sharing points are right now. If you have 100 points at gold, that is $289. If you hit gold for the very first time, you get a $250 bonus one time. If you maintain it month after month, you maintain the rank of gold, it's your highest rank, and you maintain it, you get $100 every month bonus just for holding your rank. If you fast start, which means you hit gold in your first month, which Pam's about to do, that's a $500 one-time bonus. Hello, that's massive, especially right here before Christmas. And then your sponsor bonus, I actually did this wrong. Your sponsor bonus for getting fast start silver is $50. So Pam's sponsor Dave, when she went fast start silver, got $50. I'm just saying, like, it just keeps adding up if you keep going. Okay, gotta move things around so I can read my screen. So who needs to focus on gold? Beck is really good at vision casting. We're going to talk about that. But I think you have an idea that you probably need to focus on gold. Beck, do you want to talk about vision casting?
Yeah, this was something, I believe it was 2 years ago at convention. I don't know if any of you guys heard Fallon Black talk about vision casting. And I just remember feeling really convicted. And at that point, I think I had actually just helped someone go fast start gold, but I felt like my vision for myself, I was really struggling. And it was for a lot of reasons. I think I was questioning a lot of when you've been in the business for as long as someone like I have, and you've had 10 years of experience, you see people come and go, basically. And my question that I kept asking myself was, what am I doing wrong when people left the business? And I realized that was a major hindrance for me, and it was keeping me from being committed to building my own vision for myself, which was also because I was fearful of people leaving and getting rejected. I was really afraid to dig into helping people cast vision for themselves. So this goes back to your why. Like, if you've never sat down and really spent time praying, talking with your family, talking to a good friend that you trust, and then really journaling for yourself, why am I doing this? And maybe your why right now is like, I just want to cover my products. Good. Good. Then write that down and write down what it means to you to be able to take these products and have them be covered, and like write down the effects that has on your life. Because for me, it has everything to do with like sleep and health. I'm going through perimenopause. Like, it has to do with quality of life, aging backwards at a time when most people around me are aging really fast forward. Get clear on that. But my why at this point has finally evolved into, because I really consider this a ministry. It really has to do with, I really trust that God is for me, that he's bringing people to me, and that if I don't boldly help them see the opportunity, that it really becomes an issue of obedience. And the more clear that I got on that and what it means, and that is what's going to push you through on the days when you are bored, tired, irritable, you feel like you've been rejected, or you feel like you're not successful, you're getting down on yourself. You've got to reconnect with your vision. And you have to do that before you can cast a vision for others. And I think a lot of times you probably get apologetic with people. When they tell you no, you get a little nervous. You're like, oh my gosh, I better not ever bring this up again, And instead of leaning in and asking questions, we tend to make it about ourselves. And that's what I was doing. I was saying, what do I keep doing wrong? And like, the problem with that question is it presupposed that it was all about me. When the truth is that people walk away from their businesses, or they walk away from the products, it's really all about them. And the more that you can release them to do what they're going to do in life and then go look for someone else, the less you're going to get stuck in that whirlwind of like, what did I do wrong? It's all about me. So this is why I like to say, remember your gold story. Now, listen, if you've never gone gold, then you're still building that story. But for a lot of you on this call, you've gone gold and you like can't even remember how it happened, or you don't remember the joy and the excitement of hitting that goal. Maybe you had someone under you that was kind of pushing you there, or maybe you were a hustler and you were just getting as many people as you could. But I want you to go back and remember, you've done this. Go back and remember your story, just like Andrea did, and try and remember those details. Okay, let's keep moving. So this is where you need to put your team on paper, and we're going to give you Andrea is going to give you like what we call the starburst model to look at so you can conceptualize this. But here's some things that you need to know. Do you have anyone that wants to go silver or gold? By the way, you don't know what they want until you have engaged them with questions. So are you having conversations with customers about going silver or covering the cost of their products? Are you casting that vision? And here's the other thing. Are you recruiting business builders? Another way that I like to say this is, are you looking for people who are hungry? They're not going to come to you and say, I'm hungry. You're going to have to be in conversations with them to help identify this. So who are you posting to? Now, I love, like, in fact, today, it's like my goal to talk about perimenopause and menopause in my stories, like sharing some testimonials, because I've been in a lot of conversations with people about this. And so I want to show them testimonials. But if all I'm ever doing is showing people health testimonials, and if all I'm ever doing is getting in the weeds with what kind of health problems that people have, then I'm not really going to attract people who want to earn income. I want to be posting about the cruise. I want to be posting about convention in Dallas next year. I want to be posting about how we've got Gold School coming up in Dallas in October. Like, I want to talk about all the fun business stuff because I want those people to come and get on my team. And then which customers do you need to follow up with on their products and talk to them about creating their first post? I like to do it this way. Hey, girl, I would love to hear, how are you feeling and what have you noticed? And if they give me positive feedback, I start to cheer it on and I'll say like, well, wait, tell me more. Tell me exactly what you mean. And they'll usually post like, listen, I've been sleeping great, or oh my gosh, I can't believe how much energy I have in the carpool line, or whatever. And then I say, oh my gosh, hey, would you be open to sharing this? Or would you allow me to share it? And that starts generating our conversation around creating a first post, which, by the way, the best first posts always have at least a picture of them with their pink drink. Like it's their face, because their friends want to see their faces. And then the last question, who have you invited to a team event, or even better, an event that you're hosting? Okay, A, take the next one.
Okay, I love visuals. I have this on the table. It is in the comments as a picture, but you may not be able to print it as a picture. So I also have it on the table as a PDF. Julia will have it accessible to her. Everyone has it as a file. So it's a PDF if you want it, with just the starburst on it. And this is what I'm going to say is that you are that center orange ball, and then 4 people that you've actually had a conversation with that not just want to cover the cost of their products, but want to make $500 this month. Those are your pink, orange, beige, and blue circles. And then you having that same conversation. Do they understand how they get paid? Do they have a first 4, which you can see those secondary boxes? Do they, are they in rally chat? Are they posting? Are they helping somebody else do it? And then that means that, do y'all see how your first 4 getting 4 is huge for your business? And this doesn't mean everybody on your team, y'all. There are so many people that join me in that first month or 2 that have never added a customer the entire time. They have just loved these. And that is great. Fine, y'all. That is residual income at its finest. But what's great is that there have been 4. You know what I mean? Like you just need 4. And so I would love to know in the chat, how many do you need? How many level 1s do you need to say I'm in for gold? You might need 4. Some of y'all might just need 3. Some of you are like, I just need 2 more. I need 2 more, my blue and my beige box aren't ready yet. So I need to go have some conversations about 2 more people. And some of y'all just need 1 more, or some of you have all 4 ready to go, but you actually need to help those 4 get there 4. Like your level 1, you're good. Your level 2, you're struggling with who they're going to encourage. So it helps me to have a visual. I really want to encourage you to print it out and fill it out, because I think you'll think, oh, I mean, I've got Amy and Beth and Lisa and, Becky are all in. And then all of a sudden you start having conversations with them and you're like, they're not as in as I thought they were. They're not actually willing to do the work, or they have a really good excuse right now. And so I want to challenge you to get a solid 4. And that could be a really, really good, if you say, I don't know what to do, then everything you do, whether you're in rally chat or you're posting, or like what Becky was talking about, the perimenopause, like your big thing is actually business posts. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on, but are you actually posting about what these people could earn business income wise? Okay. We're going to touch just real quick on Gold School, Ruby's on the Rise, Bahamas Cruise, and Emerald Extravaganza, just so that you have a little visual on what's coming up over the next couple of months. The first thing is, if you go gold by the end of September, or develop a level 1 gold. If you go gold or senior gold by the end of September for the first time, or you develop a level 1 gold or senior gold for the first time by the end of this month, you are invited to Gold School. And the next Gold School is in Dallas, right here down the street, 20 minutes away, on October 19th. It's a Saturday event, so you can fly in Friday, fly out Saturday night if you need to. Stay for the weekend. It's the end of the State Fair of Texas, which is the best state fair. So feel free to come. And we are going to have that weekend. And then Ruby's on the Rise is actually hosted by corporate and in Phoenix, where our corporate office is, October 10th through the 12th. So it's the weekend before Gold School. And you can see Matthew Aaron, who's one of our corporate trainers, right there in the front. Then we're all working, every single person listening to this call is working towards that Bahamas cruise. We'll have the whole ship bought out. It's this celebrity silhouette. All bought out. It's going to take off from Fort Lauderdale, go through Key West, stop in Nassau, and then back to Fort Lauderdale, quick trip. And then if you, by the end of July 31st of 2025, if you hit the rank of Jewel for the very first time, or if you promote throughout those top three ranks we talked about on that one graphic, you will earn an Alaska cruise. We are porting in and out of Seattle. And they're going to do it up. I'm kind of, I'll be shocked if we don't end up buying out the whole boat. Right now, they don't have the whole boat bought out, but I feel like by the time we get there, because it's the first time we've ever done. So, okay, back to some thought processes.
I'm just waiting for that slide. There we go. Okay. Stay positive. The reason we say this is because, especially I want to talk to anyone who is working on a fast start goal. I want you to know this. People quit their products. People are all in. They are so excited. Especially, I love to talk to people on the phone when I get them signed up. I'm a weirdo about that. I just feel like it's such a sure thing when I have someone on the phone. And people are like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I've been needing. I can't wait to do this. And then I'll even say, like, I would love to help you cover the cost of your products. Let's talk about that. Oh, I'm definitely in. I'm all in. And listen, in a month, people can totally have an about face. So we've talked about that. Prepare yourself for that. It's not about you, okay? But they're going to quit their products, which means you got to keep talking to people. Also, the other thing is you're going to develop a goal. And the hard thing is that you will pour yourself all into this person and their team and potentially abandon your personal business because you're like, this is where the momentum is. But you've got to keep looking and hunting for other people, even as you help someone grow, okay? Because like we say, there's going to be people coming in, coming out. That's just the fluctuation of, being in direct sales. So the best thing I can tell you is grow in your leadership now. Some of you guys need to get a little uncomfortable because that's the space, but your comfort and you getting into momentum, this uncomfortable place is where you really need to get into, because getting here is what's going to let you take off for the next phase. Okay. So be willing to get uncomfortable, be willing to grow in your leadership through self-development. The fact that you're on this call tells me that you already get this. You're already wanting to do this. We put in here, what is network marketing versus direct sales? Listen, that's a whole other call, but the reason I want to address it just really quick, and I want to tell you, I want to give you an example. I'm just going to do this verbally. So like, if you're taking notes, just stop and listen to me just for 1 minute. Okay. I had this conversation with my 16-year-old the other day. I was like, what would keep you from selling Plexus? And she was like, well, I mean, I think it's awesome. And she takes it every day. But it's like, nobody really knows what it is. And I was like, well, what's a brand that everyone would know what it is and you would feel like so confident selling? And she said, well, Starbucks. So I want you to imagine, because you love Starbucks, or maybe you don't, but let's pretend you do if you don't. It's something that a lot of people purchase every day. They spend a lot of money. There's a great app. Imagine if you had a referral link for Starbucks, okay? And you would post about it, right? You'd be like, oh my gosh, I love the, pumpkin spice is back. Who's going to do it? Here's my link, order here. But here's the difference between affiliate marketing, which is what it would be if you just shared your link and someone used your link and maybe you got a commission based off someone using your link. Here's the difference between like a direct sales versus true network marketing. That is like, let's say I share my link with Christy. Okay. Christy's my level 1, and I make money when Christy purchases her products by using my link, but it also gives Christy a link. I make money when Christy shares with someone else. When Christy shares with Sally, Sally becomes my level 2. I make money on her order, but I also make money when Sally shares with Krista McKee, because Krista McKee is my 3. So I make money on her. And 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. I make money on all of these people. Okay. I don't even know my 5, 6s and 7s. I'm maybe not even know my level 2 because they're like way in another state or even another country. But if Starbucks paid me on that, you better believe I would be all in on Starbucks. Okay. That's Plexus. I get paid 7 levels deep of people sharing their referral link for a brand that they absolutely love, a brand that changed their life, a brand that helped save, someone's health, a brand that helped save someone's family because it put money in their banks. That's true network organizational marketing. And you're going to see a lot of backlash about MLM. And you just can't believe it, because I'll tell you what, our comp plan is absolutely mind blowing. So get really comfortable about the amazing benefit that is to share. Okay, back to the slides. Helping your team get a paycheck makes them 80% more likely to stay on the products. And we know people need to give these products 90 days. Help them stay on the products for 90 days. Help them cover the cost. You are being a helper. It is not selfish. You are thinking about the other person, okay? Next slide. And we're getting close to Q&A. Okay. This was in from another gold call, and we left it in case you don't have enough action items. Here's some action items for you, okay? First of all, you got to decide that you are all in on this. Actually, I don't know, Andrea, we left in be intentional till December 31st. We really want you to stick with this, being in on all of this stuff till the end of December. Andrea, I'm going to pass this to you because it looks like you kind of worked on this.
Yeah, I edited it a little bit. I just want you to be committed. The first thing is commit yourself to the chat. And when I mean chat is rally chat. Commit yourself to, if you put 30 minutes and block it in your calendar, Beck and I have a big thing that we are committed to, that if you have things in your calendar, you are less likely to quit on yourself. So put rally chat for 30 minutes, figure out where it fits in your calendar every day. If you're anything like us, you have teenagers, you have sports, you have all these things happening. Where are you going to fit 30 minutes for rally chat into your calendar, where you're learning, you're posting, you're sharing, you're going to find that picture, you're doing the picture real fast, all the things. Commit to 30 minutes a day for rally chat. But you have to actually figure out where it fits. Is it, 6 o'clock in the morning? Is it, 4:30 in the afternoon? Is it, I'm going to get to car lines and I'm going to sit there for 30 minutes. I'm going to do rally chat in the car, and then I'm the first one through and we get to go home, whatever it looks like. You have to commit. We cannot commit for you. The second thing is mapping it out. You've seen the starburst, and you have to print it out. You have to put names in there, and you have to actually have the conversations. Your sponsor cannot do that for you. I would love to map out every single person on this call. I'd love to map out how you're going to go gold or develop a gold. But the problem is, I don't actually have access to your people. You have relationships with your people. So you're going to have to map out who your level ones are, where they fit in that starburst, and then you're going to have the conversations with them of what are they willing to do next. And the third thing is, you're going to have to commit to business posting. I cannot post for you. Becky cannot post for you. Julia cannot, as much as we would love to, because I promise you, for some of y'all that have the most amazing followers and you have so much influence in your network, we think, if I had her network, I would be posting this often, and this is the business post I would do, and we cannot do it for you. So you are going to have to commit to 2 really solid business posts, I think, this week and next week, and then just get in the habit of it, of really not just posting about, posting to sick people. Post to happy, healthy people that just want to level up their health a little bit, but are going to be so much fun to go on this cruise with. Those are the people you want to do a business post. Who do you want to go on the Alaska cruise with? Who do you want to go to the Bahamas with? I promise you don't want to go with someone who's really sick and doesn't feel good ever and is always complaining and nothing ever works for them. You want to go with that happy, healthy person. And so make sure you're business posting really often. So committing to the chat, putting that in your calendar, mapping it out so you know who you're going for, and then and who you're helping, and then posting. So now we are at Q&A. I wanted to give us enough time to actually answer your questions. So unmute, ask a question, drop it in the chat. Oh, I want to make sure that you know that rally chat content comes out by 8:30 Central every day. So depending, you might either be doing the day before's rally chat. If you could only work first thing in the morning, you might say, I'm going to do yesterday's rally chat every day. Or if you kind of plan your 30 minutes for later in the day, it's 8:30 Central time is when it drops on rally chat.
Okay, I have a question. Of course, I have a question. Okay, so I keep freezing when I hear vision casting. Like I get it, it's ask more questions. I don't know why I have like a total freeze panic. And I put this pressure on myself. I'm not vision casting or I'm not. So what is how do you get more comfortable with it? How do I get past that part of it?
I mean, my friend has a saying, she says, go ugly early. And that just means like, be willing to not be good at it when you start. But I mean, when was the last time that you asked someone to get on a call with the intention of asking them some vision casting questions?
Like a video call or a phone call?
Any?
Today,
Okay.
but I have not had a yes.
Okay. So I think partly like you just tell me, but when you feel that freeze and, kind of scared feeling, are you thinking about yourself or are you thinking about them?
I am thinking about them, but I realize I have the mental thing of I'm not doing it right to help them see it.
Well, if you're thinking about I'm not doing it right, then you're thinking about you, you
Okay.
know? So again, like once I start to get all in my head about me and how I'm doing, I can do that right now with you. Like, oh, am I giving her the right responses? But really, Christy, what I'm curious about, because I'm hearing you say, I freeze, I get in my head. I think you're getting fixated on you. And the whole point of vision casting is to get them talking. So really, Andrea is a good question asker. And I think when you ask a question about vision, you can start with something simple like, what is one bill that hangs over your head every month? Maybe it's a mortgage. Or you might ask it this way, what is one bill that if Plexus covered it, you would feel a huge sense of relief every month? And then you just wait for them to think. And then when they tell you the answer, you say, okay, tell me about that. Talk to me. And you just get them talking. Typically, one good question, a really good one, will get them talking enough to lead you to more questions. But really, you have to be listening and not worrying about what they think of you. You have to be listening to them. You have to be entering into what they're sharing and then be willing to dig a little deeper with people. And some people are easier than others. There's some people that are like a locked box. And so it's harder to get to know. But a lot of people will just start to talk to you about some of their stressors. Say, what's your number one, can you share with me your very top financial stressor every month? Just get them talking. And that gives you permission because when you start to hear about their life, I talk to a lot of moms who say, if I could help take some of the stress off my husband. Okay, well, tell me what that's like for you. What is your husband stressed about? That starts to get them talking more. And then I've had people say, like, I'm so stressed because we have a $350 bill for whatever. Well, $350 in the world of Plexus is like not a big deal. I'm like, I can help you make that right away if you're willing to do XYZ. Does that help?
Yeah, it helps. I realize I'm asking a question, but I'm jumping to give them a solution rather than tell me more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay in a curiosity posture. I really think if you stay really curious, okay, well, tell me more about that. Like I was talking to someone one time and she was like, I just really need this business to work. I'm like, tell me why. They're like, this, finances are tight. Okay, where are finances tight? Okay, well, kind of, and people don't want to dive really personal into it. Okay, if you could relieve pressure off your husband, what does that feel like in your house? I mean, that would be huge, but why? What is like just the more you get truly curious about what it could actually look like, because that's the conversation you're going to come back to. Here's what I heard you say though, Chrissy, is that you're actually having trouble getting people on the call with you. Is that you're actually having a hard time? Anybody else in the chat, like having a hard time actually getting people to get on that call to be able to ask them the questions? I knew Ivy was going to raise her hand. Here's what I'm going to say. You have to vision cast in social media, not about you. not about your vision, not about what this means for you, but you actually have to talk to them. Anybody else struggling to figure out how they're going to pay for baseball, basketball, and such this year, read the story, then you're sharing a testimonial. Anybody else need to pay off, $15,000 in school debt? Look how this person just paid off. Like, you're constantly sharing someone else's story, not yours, because a lot of y'all are going to think, oh, I don't have a big enough story. Oh, Plexus isn't paying for enough. You have enough things, enough different stories available to you to share someone else's, like, oh, we have a handicapped kid, Plexus has built a handicap house for us. Becky and Russ felt God calling them to Arkansas. This allowed them to make that decision without having to they could consult their prayer. They could really go to scripture and go to the Lord in prayer and say, is this what you've called us to do, without having to check on their bank statement and go, I don't know, God, it feels like you're calling us here, but the bank, the statement's not really looking like this is where you're leading us. They were like, okay, let's go. And I just, like, if Julia's story and the fact that they were able to adopt Reese because they weren't having to look paycheck to paycheck and go, can I pay my Publix, grocery checkout before I leave here? That was so taken care of that now they could go, okay, God, what do you have for us next? You've taken care of our house bill, our rent and our Publix, charge and everything else. Lord, now you're opening a door for an adoption. And I just think, like, if you can talk about everybody else's vision and what that's been able to do for them, borrow a vision from testimonials. It's huge. And say, I'd love to get on a call and see how this can work for you. Are you inviting them to a call when you're sharing a testimonial? Are you inviting people to get into conversation and onto a call with you on a daily basis? Where are you inviting them? How are you inviting them to get on the call? How do they know you actually want to talk to them about this? How do they know that this is for them specifically? So I really think when you're posting, you have to make sure you're, doing sliders, you're doing polls, you're saying, drop me if that's you in the chat or whatever, message me and just say, show me how, and find a way for them to connect with you so you know who you need to be connecting with.
Who else has questions?
I just want to say this is really good therapy. Thanks, guys. Like Becky's like saying, this is what you're doing mentally. And I get hung up mentally so much on, I don't want to feel like I'm pressuring people. So focusing on their needs and not me. Hearing you say that, I feel like I'm kind of similar to Christy. Like, I get hung up on that. So that was really, really helpful.
You know what's great, which, by the way, Melody, it's fun to see your face. What's great for me is when I am able to do a vision call with someone and I'm writing it down, I say, I'm taking notes because I want to be able to revisit this when you hit your first obstacle. Because if someone is helping create vision for themselves, and like, they're going to get rejected, right? Somebody's going to, make some kind of comment, or they're going to misread somebody's response or whatever. They're going to start to feel that tension. And I will say, but remember what we talked about in that vision call, remember how you said you would feel if you could cover the cost of this one bill. Remember what you said the impact it would have for your family if you could earn $1,000 a month with Plexus. And I go back to that because, like, if they've shared that with me, then I have that emotional currency with them to encourage them through the hard stuff. So for you, Melody, I don't know like what your big why is, but I would say, okay, I see you letting what you're in your head about, how people are, this idea of, oh, I'm pressuring them. It's really not pressure when you hold someone accountable to the dreams they've shared with you. It's really honestly being a really good friend and a really good accountability partner. And people are going to want to quit. And that's why you go, I get it. I get why this would be hard. And we revisit what you told me in that call.
Well, and Julia's done that for me. And I see it when she's doing that for me, when she is helping keep me accountable and encouraging me. But for some reason, when I try to look at doing that with others, I think maybe partially with my husband being a pastor, I don't want him to feel like their pastor's wife's pressuring them maybe is part of it for the ones that are like connected to me in that way. And so, yeah, I need to realize I've thought so many times how grateful I am that she presented the opportunity to me, how it's changed my health. And I keep trying to remember that as I share with others. So.
And I give you permission as a pastor's wife, because let me just tell you, those of y'all that are in some form of ministry, you've probably come up against this roadblock a lot. Like, I want to be careful with the influence that I yield in the lives of people that I'm in ministry with. Okay. I give you permission to have that conversation with them right from the jump, and maybe even build that into your vision. You know, in as much as I want to hold someone accountable, if someone tells me that they want to, I'm just going to pull out of thin air, but if someone tells me that they want to be committed to praying at bedtime every night with their husband, and they want me to help hold them accountable, great. Like, I want that for you. I know that's going to yield big changes in your marriage. It's not on me. I'm not responsible for it. I'm just your friend that's going to remind you, you told me you wanted this. And then I'll say, listen, at some point I get in my head with plexus, and I'm going to tell myself that it's not okay for me to encourage you in your dreams here. So just know, if I come back to you with this, like, that's a lot for me to push through that. And I kind of give myself permission to have that conversation with them, to go ahead and predict it and go, I'm going to struggle with holding you accountable, but I'm going to do it because I love you. Who else?
Y'all are probably gonna cringe when you see me on mic, but I feel like been posting about the business and the cruise, and still just like my hang up is always yes, getting a yes, or getting people willing to share. I don't know.
You're struggling with finding the business builders, Ivy.
Yeah.
And a part of that, I'm curious, and I'd honestly like to open it up. Anyone else struggling with finding the hungry people? Okay, I see y'all. Okay, so I think we could like skin this cat 13 different ways, but so let's get some feedback from other people. For me, something that has been really beneficial is honestly actually getting involved in new ways in my community. And I'm telling you, I didn't go out being like, I got to build my Plexus business, so let me go lead this Bible study, or I got to build my Plexus business, so let me go be involved in the PTA, or whatever it is. Okay, whatever it is. We all have different areas where we can get involved in things. But when was the last time that you like were able to get yourself in front of a new group of people? Because, by the way, you don't get yourself in front of that new group and go, I'm going to give you each my card because I sell, you're not doing that. It takes time. But for those of you that have been struggling, are you finding that maybe you're in a spot where it's been a while since you were in front of being able to build new relationships with new people? Y'all can unmic and say yes or no or whatever. Tanya, join that pickleball group, girl. Anybody else? Okay, well,
I joined yoga and started yesterday, and there was just the leader and one other girl. It's like the basics. Like, I know nothing about yoga. So the first whole thing yesterday was we didn't move. It was just why and how yoga and that kind of thing. And it's funny because the girl next to me, well, the leader was talking about like gut and brain and all, of course she was talking about meditation, all this other stuff too, but the girl next to me said, how does that help with your gut? You mentioned that, and the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, I wanted so bad to say there is a very real gut brain connection, but I just kept trying to figure out, I didn't want to do that in the middle of class. So I was thinking, what could I bring her next Sunday and just, quietly say, hey, I liked your question. I'm really passionate about this. I had to search for it for myself because I really needed it. So check this out. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just don't know how to do that, but I felt like gotta be God.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe just affirmation for you, because, here you are wondering, like, How do I do this? And then you drop someone in your lap. Okay, so first of all, I'm like, you need to bring her a stick of Slim and just be like, this drink impacts your gut health and it impacts your blood sugar. Keep it super simple. Like, try it. If you, no matter what you think, try it. Give me your feedback. So so awesome, Mel. Yeah, what do you do when your very first time at getting around new people, somebody brings up the gut? I think you just take it as a sign from God for sure. But Andrea makes up the point. You need to friend her on social. And then maybe you talk about it on social. Be like, I couldn't believe it. I went to my very first yoga class ever. Me and two other people. And one question that somebody had was, how does the gut impact all of this? And I think you can talk about receiving it as affirmation from God. I'm in the right gig, you know? Okay, for those of you still going back to that question about how do I find business builders? It really has to do, I think, and I'm not speaking as like, this is my expertise, but hungry people, if you are consistently posting, one, hungry people will start to come to you. Two, you won't find out if someone is hungry until you ask them enough questions. You probably have a VIP right now that is hungry. They just haven't had the right question or the right timing. Anybody else have, I know we're over time. I know you guys have to go, but anybody else have tips on when you're looking for business builders?
Can I just say that one thing y'all have to remember is it's like the smallest part of your, like, you're going to hit more people for the products, but are you helping, 3, 4, 6 people a month get started on the products? Because that's where you're going to find your business builders too. And I'm going to throw Julia under the bus. I shared Plexus for 6 months, and I'm not saying that after 6 months you should have, this, but Becky had joined me and Ellen had joined me and all these people we were having so much fun over here. And Julia was just like not even watching. She was uninterested. And it had to be her timing, and it had to be me staying friends with her, never getting offended when she hated everything I did about Plexus. I never even thought about getting offended that she didn't want it. It wasn't a whole bless and release thing. It was just, this is a friend who's not interested, who needs the products and the business really badly. That's okay. Someday she'll figure it out. And we were at breakfast having nothing to do with Plexus. And she just looked at me and went, okay, how much are you really making with this Plexus stuff? And I told her, and she was like, okay, but do I have to give up Diet Coke? I was like, no. And she was like, okay, okay, I think I'm in. Like, it was just like the easiest friendship. But who are you having conversations with on a normal basis? Who are you sitting next to at the game? Who are you going on a walk with in your neighborhood? Who are you going to lunch with when you have time? Who are you going? I mean, Julia and I were on play dates at VBS, like everything at the zoo, like everything we could do together. I realized that some of y'all aren't in that season anymore, us either. Like, I'm not hanging out at the zoo and the Arboretum weekly like we were back then. But like, what season are you in that makes sense? I mean, are you going when everybody at the office is going to happy hour? Are you going to happy hour, or you're like, I'm out? Like, you want to be the person with the most energy going out with everybody after work. You don't have to, you can have your club soda and stick your pink drink packet in it if you want to. But I just think, like, where are you finding the time, the energy, and the connection to actually like get face to face, belly to belly with people? Because I would say most of us that connected, it's because we were in conversation. I even think like Melissa, I think if you message that girl and be like, hey, let me friend you on Facebook, and then whenever there's like a beginner class, like, let's go together. Like, let's be the girl. And then, you know what, if you ever want to grab like a coffee or a tea or something after class and like kind of talk through, I'd love to just have a friend that I know is always going to be in the yoga class. And that way you're making a connection. It's not a Plexus connection. It's a, hey, we're in the same class. What if we always come together, or like we message each other like, hey, do you want to go to that one? Like, I did bar and I would message these 3 or 4 girls and they're like, hey, are we going tomorrow morning? Because I don't want to go if you're not going. And they would say the same thing. And we're still friends on social, 8 years later. And so I just think it's important that y'all are making friendships that have nothing to do with Plexus, but have everything to do with wanting to share with them if it's the right thing for them. So I think what Becky's saying when she's saying, are you putting yourself in new social circles, is who's the last person you added on social media? Who's the last group that you got involved with? Like, where are you actually making, like, building connections, not just sitting next to them, but actually going, hey, let's talk through homecoming groups. Let's talk through all of these things. I just be intentional with relationships, and where you're intentional with relationships is where you will also find conversations that will lead us here. Okay, I think that's really a good start. I think y'all have a grasp on gold. I think y'all have a visual on where your team needs, what your team needs to look like if you're actually going to develop 4 golds wide. And so I can't wait to see some of your starbursts. If you want to send them to us, we'd love to see them. And I have a feeling that Rally Chat is about to blow up. So I cannot wait to see all of the new ads in there. Remember, it's a quiet chat, but it is an active chat. Every day there's something to, post, see, do, learn, all the things. So can't wait to see y'all in there. See y'all later.